Okay, so it's the 28th of March today. Couple of things real quick. So, not only the US version is actually the same as this version in terms of the content on it. So, I initially thought that the US version had basically included the signature edition alongside the 4K. And it does have some other special features, but I don't think it has all of them by the looks of it. Anyway, what this includes is the first disc of the Diamond Edition, released all the way back in 2009, for its Blu-ray, but not the bonus disc. And they could have put that content probably on the 4K disc, or just, include that bonus disc, but they didn't. Thankfully, that version is actually available quite cheaply used, so I've ordered that just to get the bonus disc. I did actually watch the film today, and yeah, now I remember why I haven't watched it for about 20 years at least. Because I found that I got bored with the film. In fact, I halfway through I stopped watching it and I had to watch something else because I was just getting so bored, quite frankly. And that, obviously, it is important for animated history and everything like that, and history of film itself. But I found that any scene, really, that didn't have the evil queen on there, especially when Shuri becomes, the evil witch type character. Any scene that she wasn't on screen and that I just, unfortunately didn't find interesting. Though it did mean that it definitely picked up towards the end. Anyway, that's my quick little thoughts on that. I've got a couple of packets here. So the first one, I've been waiting a while for these. Not particularly exciting, but it's not one but two USB C to A adapters. That also, they should be USB 3.0, but oh, let me have a look. See if it has the extra. That is not USB 3. That is not USB 3, that is USB 2.0. That is USB 2.0 that has been coloured blue. So these cost me, I think, £2 something. £2.16 for two, and I've waited for each. But basically, yeah, I mean, if I get something that's actually USB 3, like this one. Yeah. So something like USB 3, you'll have 4 pins along the front and 5 additional along the back. This one has only got 4. The 4 regular pins, which just means it's USB 2 compatible. So I'm going to complain about that because it was advertised as being USB 3 and it's not. So yeah, that's basically lying. False advertising. So let's see if the problem is getting a good picture of it. I don't know if that picture helps at all or not, but yeah, wait. I just got them. The reason I got these is because pretty much all my USB A to C adapters are these type of ones, and these ones you'll find the most common. The problem is there's some situations where basically the cable or whatever you've plugged into it is putting too much pressure on the connector, so a one that's got, that can dangle a bit like that is sometimes quite useful. But if I just show the differences between the two, if it shows, and I don't know if it will, let me get my light out again. Don't know if it shows up, but the one on the left, you can see that it's got 5 extra contact points that the other one does not. So yeah, these are, and the thing is, it's very common and that for basically, companies to basically make ones that are that. The thing is, though, normally now, I mean, USB 3's been around for well over a decade, so the fact that they're still doing this to this day is still, you know, flabbergasting. But at least things I bought off eBay, you know, hopefully I can get, you know, some money back or something, because I'm not, you know, not happy with that. Anyway, I've got a package here which has been opened and put back in a bag. Yeah, so unfortunately I cannot show it, because this has come from Indonesia, and this cost me, I think, about £12–13, maybe as high as 14. I can't remember off the top of my head. Actually, how much does the invoice say? It's all a bit battered. $16.80. So it's probably about £14, something, I reckon, off the top of my head. Ooh, if I can get this thing out. Ooh. It's wrapped. It is wrapped in bubble wrap. Quite a lot of it. It does not want to come out. Hey, there we go. I don't know if this is meant to be brand new sealed, because this is just a little shrink wrap that you could put on it and open it and then seal it back up. But yeah, cause I didn't mention it being sealed. I think they just put them in here just to keep them up. But I can, since it's not an actual sealed up thing, I can just open it and then put it back in. I think this has been opened before. This is Evanescence Fallen, their first album on cassette. Yeah, this is definitely being used before, I can tell. I think it's got... That's disgusting. I think this has gotten wet at some point. I'm glad I opened this. Hopefully I can maybe clean that off. Actually, let me try. And, no, it doesn't want to come off. It made a little bit of difference, maybe. Maybe a magic eraser will get it to come off entirely. Just drop there. Got it a little bit off. Maybe if I find my magic eraser, but yeah. But ew, that is disgusting. That. So yeah, these things, like in Indonesia, they're actually pretty cheap. Actually, that's where a lot of cassettes ended up. Actually, because Indonesia was still selling cassettes long after most of the world had already moved on. So that's where a lot of these releases come from. So yeah, particularly like they were still doing releases in Indonesia up until like in the late 2000s. I think as late as like 2008 possibly. There we go. Hopefully I can rewind all the way back to the beginning. There we are. Lovely. Actually, that's all the way at the end at that side. Actually, no, it's the right way. Okay. So this is a 2003 release of it. I can't remember whether this version has the banned version of My Immortal on it. I don't know, because also I don't know if this was the original box it came in, because it's got two little sprocket holes there, but for them. But anyway, so if you don't know your history of this album, the early releases of this was only a 10-track version, and Amy Lee was basically disappointed and annoyed that of the version of My Immortal on there, because she wanted to record a new version for that, because she said her vocals sounded like basically a teenage girl, at the time, because they'd basically taken her vocals from the version that was on Origins and basically spruced that one up a little bit more. So they recorded a new version, which is now known as the band version, that basically, you know, during the third chorus you have the rest of the band coming with guitars and drums and everything. And so, basically, second pressings onwards, at least for the CDs of this album, had a hidden bonus track at the end, which was the band version of My Immortal. And basically, you know, that is the version that is performed at all the live performances, and that, with the exception of the synthesis version, which is more in keeping with the original version, where it has, but obviously that's more of an orchestral one. Anyway, there's a quick little rambly history, and it probably didn't make a lot of sense because I explained everything there extremely badly. But yeah, there's the cassette of it anyway, which I did finally which I did pick up on that, because wings, like I said, you know, from Indonesia they're pretty cheap, but the problem is that obviously importing can be expensive. The importing for that wasn't expensive for whatever reason. It did take a while to come over. It took actually not too long. Actually, it took about 3 weeks, which isn't too bad. But like for example, I've seen one on eBay, and the person wants, I think, 35-40 quid for it, which, you know, that's obviously, you know, you're not dealing with having it shipped internationally and everything like that. But yeah, anyway, that was a rambly everything. But there we go, people. There we go. All right, it's still the 28th of March and that. I was going to think of something there, and I can't remember what I was going to say. So, but blah blah blah. But blah 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 blah. But yeah, picked up package from the locker from Vinted. Also, that Evanescence Fallen cassette from Indonesia doesn't sound great. It sounds like it is a very worn cassette. I don't know whether that's due to the climate or what, but doesn't sound amazing at the minute. I don't know, I might clean it a bit, give it a bit of lubrication and that. I mean, it's not sticking or anything, but, you know, you never know. But, yeah, Vinted, box from Vinted. Where's my knife? Ooh. It was very well packaged in there. Another Ultimatrix. Yep, another one. Ooh, this one is a little bit scratched up and could do with a bit of a clean, but yeah. Does it work, actually? Well, it's in the on position. Actually, you know what, while I've got it out, let's have a look and see if it has any batteries in there, and hope that they haven't corroded. This thing, I believe, just lights up, if I remember rightly. There are batteries in there, and let me, have I got anything to put them in, the batteries? That'll do, an empty packet of water. There's no corrosion. There's a tiny bit of corrosion. I don't know if you can see that there. There's a tiniest bit of corrosion, so it looks like I've got them out just in time. And that, so hooray for small wins. I don't think I've got any button cell batteries. I'll have to check. to be honest, is it worth it just to see it light, just to see an LED light up? But yeah, there was obviously a bunch of different Ultimatrixes. Most people seem to prefer the disc one, and I can see why. This one does have one thing the others don't. It pops up. None of the others allow you to basically do the simple thing of pop it up and slam it down like that. None of the others allow you to do that. The Disc Ultimatrix is the only one that has a pop-up feature, but you can't, you know, basically pretend to do that and then do that. I wish this dial here, which has some odd extra detailing on and it's quite thick, I wish this dial was a real dial and you could twist it. Instead, what you can twist is the top section here. And you can see the aliens pop up, and obviously this isn't accurate. This is not accurate to the show, but also this one's a little bit lopsided. It's not a bad little thing though, actually. Though I wish rather than having actual pictures of the aliens, if they were like translucent, if they were all like, you know, the translucent green colour, it would make it more accurate, and then you can slam it down like that and pop it up. Also having this section here be the bit that you turn at the top, which means, you know, you can't have it the accurate way like that. Though technically in the show there are actually two ways that it is, because in the show sometimes it's this way around, but then there are other shots, there are other bits where it's that way around. But yeah, originally, this should pop off, there we go, this bit pops off here, and originally this would have come with, I think, 2 or 3 different bits that slide, there we go, that slide into the here, this little thing. And you can see that in there's just an LED, though I can replicate what it would have looked like with this torch. There we go, that's what it would have looked like. In fact, if anything, this thing is far brighter than that. But yeah, it's not a bad little thing, to be honest. Woo! How does this clip in properly again? It must clip in and lock in a certain way. Alright, so that locks in like that. And then where's this looking? Where's the... I'm just looking at where the notches are. And it must be... No, it must be this way around. There we go. But yeah, it does it. So it's not a bad little thing. It's the fact that you can do this with it. I mean, that is fun enough, I guess, but accuracies, no. But again, you know, to be honest, I would have been much more favourable if, rather than this section twisting, basically the dial was attached to this top section and that was the bit that turned it round. Or it was, you know, done like that. You know, just that little extra thing. Also, annoyingly, this one has a few scratches on that bit of plastic there. Maybe a magic eraser might take it off. Possibly, though I'm worried if it does take anything else off, like paint. And that, but, yeah. There we go, people. There we go. Okay, so it's the 30th of March, and I picked this up today from HMV. This is interesting because I have it. Oh, there's the sticker on the back. This was actually reduced to from £40 to £30 on an Arrow video sale, although it's on sale across the board. So this is Psycho, The Story Continues, and basically this is Psycho 2 through 4. I don't think Arrow had the rights to do the first one. Otherwise, you know, it would have made more sense to do a 4-film box set rather than this. Oh, I didn't notice that in the cellophane. There's a slight ding on it. I don't know if you can just see. Because there's a... That's annoying. That is bloody... This is a very flimsy box. This is the second one, actually, because the first one I picked out actually had some damage to the corner, and I noticed it. And basically, this is the second one, so yeah, it is a very Unfortunately, this is, I mean, it doesn't look it, but it is an incredibly flimsy cardboard box. I know Arrow, I've had a bit of problems with their boxes and that not being the best quality. But, yeah. Anyway, it is just three standard Blu-ray cases, so. Psycho 2. Psycho 2 is actually pretty good. And, it's probably the best out of the sequels, and this one is a legitimately good one. Now, I will say, you know, minor spoilers, so I'm not going to talk about the plots at all, but this film does retcon something from the first film, and then the third film retcons it back, basically, so, yeah. Oh, what's this? 30 days to get free. Brand new exclusive horror movie classics handpicked. I mean, if that's any use to anyone, I don't know if that's still valid. Oh, offer valid until December 20th, 2023, so that's how long it's been sitting there. Nice little art. You could use that as a nice little art card for the lighthouse, because it's actually made of cardboard. So yeah, unfortunately, with this release, you do not get the Blu-ray included. There is a Blu-ray only version, but this version is just the 4Ks. They do have reversible covers though. They do have reversible covers, so you can have the original artwork, and I think I'm going to do that with Psycho 2, because I think it just looks better. And that the original artwork, I don't mind the new artwork, I just prefer, like, you know, the original. I think it just looks nicer. There we go. And here we have Psycho 3, which is definitely the weakest one. I don't know if I'd call it bad, but like, this is like where the franchise is basically just turned into any standard slasher, basically. Don't know. Do I want the original artwork or the new one? I'll go for the original. I'll probably just go for the original for all of these, to be honest. I don't know. But yeah, Psycho 3 is just basically, you know, a standard, like, was this released in the 80s? I can't remember. Copyright doesn't have a date for. I can't remember if this one was released in the 80s or the early 90s. I can't remember. And then finally, Psycho 4, The Beginning. There we go. Which this one's not bad actually. This one is decent, and this one was a TV movie as well, compared to the others being theatrical releases. But this one, that corner needs a little bit straightening out there. This is the only one. This is where the franchise obviously came to an end, at least, you know, the original franchise. And this one's a decent one to end the story on, to be honest. There we go. And obviously it's the last time Anthony Perkins would ever, you know, play Norman Bates, and it brings the story to a satisfying conclusion. But yeah, it's annoying, especially that's right on the front. It's really annoying that. I don't know what's caused that. It is very fragile cardboard like this. So I don't think I'll bother returning it in that again or anything like that. I'll just keep it. But yeah. Also from now on, I'm generally going to probably start buying my HMV releases in store. And one of the reasons why I was buying them online is because of their refer a friend scheme. Where basically, you know, if you refer a friend, you get 20% off. 20% off code. And the problem was, obviously, too many people were using it. HMV had this, you know, for over a year at least, probably 2 years at least. And basically everyone was using it, and now they've finally gotten rid of it. Which, yeah, is a shame. Because that was the only reason I kept ordering online, because, God, the orders I was getting from HMV online, 50% of the time they were damaged. It was getting ridiculous, and their customer service was... Their online customer service is absolutely abysmal. In store, lovely. You know, lovely staff and that, all of them, and they go out of their way to help you. Online, literally the complete opposite. So, yeah. That they've replaced it now with a student's 10% off offer. Though you have to have a valid student card from a certain list, and basically send proof and everything of that in, and then you get 10% off for, I don't know how, but regardless, it's irrelevant to me. But obviously, yeah, it's a shame, because the thing is, that was they probably, ironically, will probably lose business over that. Because obviously that was drawing a lot of people to HMV, because, you know, HMV aren't usually the cheapest. They're not the most expensive normally, but they're not normally like the cheapest place always to get stuff from. And so that was a way to encourage people to go there. Plus, like, because the thing is, most of the things there are the same prices everywhere, so that was a reason to draw people in. But how many of those people will stick around, I don't know, or shop elsewhere, because obviously you've got Zavvi and that, Amazon. But yeah, obviously HMV has the advantage of it has physical stores, whereas the others just online only retailers. So yeah, but yeah, there we go, people. There we go.